The Giants have won the toss. Ron Dixon back deep for the Giants with Reggie Stevens. Dixon can fly. Edinger, the rookie kicker for the Bears, set to go. And we're set to go. Line drive kick is going to be handled by Dixon if he ever gets to it. Down in the end zone. Let's have a look at that new attitude New York Giants offense. Lomas Brown brought in. Glenn Parker's new. Dusty Ziegler's new. Ron Stone and Luke Pettigrew is moved to a new position. Toomer, Barber, Greg Camelo, the new fullback, Howard Cross, and Ike Hilliard. Camelo's playing very well. Terry Collins, the quarterback, 70.4 completion percentage, is third in the NFL. If he can keep that up, they'll win a lot of games. Toomer on the move. Collins back to throw. Open is his fullback, Camelo. Fights for about 8 yards. Here's the Bear defense. Up front, Daniels, Wells, Flanagan, and Brian Robinson. The three linebackers. A new man in the middle, Urlacher. Holman and Harris on the outside. Smith, Brown, Parrish, and Harris make up the secondary. The Giants have 2nd and 1.
And that new man is a rookie in Brian Urlacher, and the Giants are going to try and exploit him.
Ron Dane hammers for the first down.
Yeah, and we say exploit him, and how do you exploit a rookie middle linebacker? It's like they did on the first play. You give him a shift, then you give him a motion, and then you give him a play pass. So they did, 3 things that they made him make some moves and then have to get into coverage.
Welcome to those of you watch the Rams struggle but roll 41-24. They beat San Francisco. Here's Collins back to throw it. Over the middle, complete to Toomer. Amani Toomer from Collins.
Now there's a guy, we talk about different guys on the Giants. Amani Toomer is a different guy. And Jim Foster was saying last night when Amani Toomer, when he first came to the Giants, Amani Toomer wasn't in very good shape. He wasn't a hard worker, and he said he's changed all that. Now he's one of the hardest workers on the team and one of those guys who concentrates all the time on football.
2nd and 3. This is Tiki Barber. Got enough for the first down. Stopped by Urlacher.
We talk about the confidence, but when you have confidence, then you can just see the efficiency. Watch the line. They all take off here together. Greg Camelo makes a good lead block right there. Tiki Barber gets right in behind him and cuts right off it.
Ron Dane has replaced Barber. They'll do that a lot during the day. 1st and 10 Giants. They've made 2. Straight ahead is Dane if he can find a place to go. Not much. He might have nudged it for a yard.
That's the thing that that's why you go play pass on first down, because the way when the Bears figure that the thing that they have to do against the Giants is stop their run, what you're talking about is first down. Stop the first down run like they just did there. Then get them into this situation, 2nd and long. Now you can go after them a little.
2nd and 8. It's Howard Cross who moves from left to right. Reverse coming. That's Ron Dixon. He's got some moves and some speed. They say he doesn't have any idea how good he can be.
Yeah, and you have to have speed to run that reverse, because you have to realize that he comes all the way across the field. So he's going to run about 45 yards before he ever gets back to the line of scrimmage. So you have speed and you pull a guy out there. Not only does he have speed, but he makes a good move there, then another good move to get that first down.
The Giants move into Bear territory at the Bear 43.
Jim Foster is trying to figure more ways to get Dixon more touches.
Collins to Pete Mitchell, the tight end, who is seeing his first activity.
You know, we talked about Kerry Collins and how relaxed he is. Jim Fossil changed his motion. If you look here, this is the old way that he did it. The ball was higher, and here is a new way he does it. Now watch the difference. In the old way, when he drops back, he had the ball up higher. You see, and when he sets here, you see that would take his shoulders, and that would tense everything up. Here with the ball down here, look how much more relaxed his shoulders are. Now, some of these things are very subtle, and they're tough to see, but look at how the shoulders are relaxed. And now because the shoulders are more relaxed, he's a much more accurate throwing quarterback.
You wouldn't think that would make that much difference, but it sure does.
Well, you know, I mean, just try running, and that's one of the first things Jim Fossil did with Kerry Collins. Said, okay, how do you do it? You hold the ball up there by the ship, now run that way. Okay, now just put the ball in your hands and run as fast as you can, and he put the ball down.
2nd and inches. Fake to Barber. He's going for a bundle. Caught by Ron Dixon in the corner of the end zone. Touchdown, Giants.
That's the old thing we were saying. They're trying to get more touches to Ron Dixon.
Yep.
We're talking about speed. Speed kills. We're talking about play pass. And the play pass works because you've been able to run the ball. Watch this. You get the fake. Here's Ron Dixon out here. Now what he's going to do, he's just going to take off. I mean, he's right there. You make a little move, and then you look for the ball, and Kerry Collins throws a perfect pass right over that outside shoulder where only Dixon can catch it.
Perfect.
But it all started with a good play pass.
Galuiso for the extra point. Ball was fumbled a little getting it down, but the extra point is good nevertheless. And it's 7-0. The Giants lead very quickly. 10:38 left in the first quarter. Buckingham Fountain.
Yeah, this is a great down. Look at it here. 2nd and short for play pass. You fake it here. Now you get this safety come, so you get 8 out, and you get man out there. But see, 2nd and 1, they're going to come up. That safety comes up. They hold that safety, and then with speed like Ron Dixon, you got a one-on-one situation on the outside. And again, Kerry Collins throws a perfect pass.
Galuiso's kickoff is short. Handled by Milburn to the 34-yard line where the Bears take over. First time their offense has been on the field. Downtown Chicago. Beautiful city.
Relentless training.
Field, Chicago. Cade McNown, the quarterback. Curtis Enos and James Allen behind him. McNown to Enos. Short gain stopped by Ryan Phillips. Here's the Bear offensive line. Brockermeyer, Perry, Krutz, Valerio, Williams, the big cat. Ingram, Enos, Allen, Allred, and Robinson will handle the ball. There's Will Cade McNown. 2nd and 7. McNown. Pass caught by Allred. Bear first down in Giant territory. Here's the Giant defense. A happier defense this year. Cedric Jones, Hamilton, Christian Peter, and Michael Strahan up front. Armstead Farrell and Ryan Phillips, the linebackers. And in the secondary, Jason Sehorn and Dave Thomas, the corners. Williams and Garnes, the safeties. First and 10 at the Giant 45. Now to Allen.
You know, the Bears started out the way that Cade McNown was talking about, that they wanted to be able to go more play pass. You know, I mean, do the run that they do and then fake the run and throw the ball. And that's what they did on first down. The other thing that he wanted to do was move the pocket more, and that's what they did on play.
Number 60 is eligible. He's in the Bear backfield on 2nd and 8. Here comes Curtis Enis.
Curtis Enis got right in behind number 60. Number 60 is Casey Wegman. He's the backup center, and what they do, they put him in as a fullback on running down. And you're going to see he's shifted here to here, and now he's going to lead. You see, here he is right here. Now here he is right here. That's what I said the first time. You see him, he just leads out there, and he makes the block, and Curtis Enis runs right off that block.
James Allen now the deep back for the Bears. McNown drops the throw, drops it out to Allen, who juggled it, trying to set up a screen pass. Incomplete.
And that was a good job of defense on that second down. Well, both first and second down by the Giants, and then that got him in that 3rd and long. And the Bears probably run more screen passes than any team in the NFL. And screen passes are not real effective when you're not throwing the ball down the field. So if you can't throw the ball down the field, then the Giants don't respect that. So then the screen passes like that last one are easier to play.
Tiki Barber back. Bartholomew's punt sails high. Their catch at the 14. That's where the Giants will start. They lead 7-0. The Giants. Howard cross moves. Collins to Dane. Ron Dane. Right now, for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Patton John, Minnesota capping off their drive as Dante Culpepper hands off to Robert Smith. The 4-yard scat run to the end zone. 7-0 Vikes there. Meanwhile, Kitna again handing off here to Ricky Waters, 7-yarder. It's 7-0 Seattle. Let's take it back to Chicago. Pat Summerall and John Madden.
Tiki Barber's the deep back. Cross on the move again. 2nd and 6, trying to set up a screen. They do. Greg Camella fighting for yardage, won't get the first. Gets about 3.
Yeah, the Giants, every other play, it's kind of Tiki Barber, and then it's Ron Dane. This one here, we see it's Tiki Barber. They're going to throw the screen pass to Greg Camella here. You see, he kind of sneaks in there, and he comes out. The Bears play it well. Anytime you get a screen, you try and get a triangle around it. See, now the tackle, what he does is he tries to cut that defensive end to get his hands down so you can throw it over him.
Crowd coming to life, encouraging the Bear defense. Collins back to throw it. Pete Mitchell, first down, Giants.
Well, that was the first 3rd down that the Giants have had so far in this game, and they just got Pete Mitchell back. And like we're talking about, you know, Kerry Collins feeling good about the running game, feeling good about his receivers. He feels pretty good about getting Pete Mitchell back, because he's saying he's going to give him another go-to guy, especially on 3rd down. So the first 3rd down situation they get into today, they go to Pete Mitchell.
Cross the blocking tight end, Mitchell the receiving tight end. Tiki Barber's the deep back. Fakes to Barber. Collins up the middle to Ike Hilliard, who had it and lost it.
And Kerry Collins did his part. I mean, he shot that thing in. Ike Hilliard did his part of you know, getting open in that zone. And you're going to see that the ball is thrown right there. I mean, it's just a little behind him, but he has to catch that ball, and he knows that. I mean, Ike Hilliard, you know, in the offseason, or not in the offseason, but in the preseason, I ran into Jason Garrett, the backup quarterback of the Giants, and I said, what do you think of this team? And he says, let me tell you one guy I'm really impressed with. The first name he came up with was Ike Hilliard.
And off to Dane. Not much.
Now they have that thunder and lightning thing going, and of course Ron Dane is thunder and Tiki Barber is lightning. And the way they started that is they have a formation, and they'll call it 21 personnel. So if he says 21 Lightning, Tiki Barber goes in. If he says 21 Thunder, then Ron Dayne goes in. So they just add Thunder and Lightning to any formation, and that tells which tailback is playing.
3rd and 8. Giant ball at their own 31. Mitchell split wide, comes in motion, and Collins calls a timeout.
Yeah, because the Bears showed him a blitz and jumped out of it. Look at what happens here. This is what Kerry Collins sees. See, had he looked out here, no one was covering Pete Mitchell. He could have thrown it to him. Just get up and throw it. But Pete Mitchell was going to come in motion. But look at this. You see, he sees that blitz walk up. Now he has to change protections. Time was starting to run out on him, and he had to take a timeout. But if they would go back to that formation again, no one covered Pete Mitchell down here in the bottom.
Collins back to throw. As Ike Hilliard at midfield.
Remember in the old days, they'd get like 3rd down and everyone would kind of hyperventilate. Now they just get in there and they just run a play. This is against the zone. You'll see Ike Hilliard again coming right up here, making a little move to the outside, then just finding that big hole in there and sitting down and letting Kerry Collins hit him.
Used to be 3rd and long and it'd be panic.
And you see how that ball was thrown before Hilliard turned, because Kerry Collins was looking at the defense and he just threw it in the hole that Hilliard came into.
Barber tried to counter play, starting one way and coming back the other way.
Yeah, that was a different type of counter. Usually when they counter, the quarterback would be a part of the handoff, and this time you watch, you're going to start this way. Kerry Collins starts this way, and then he just pitches it back to Tiki Barber. Watch, he starts like he's reverse pivoting, and then just kind of flips it back there like an option type of play. Lomas Brown, the left tackle, was pulling on that play, but Tiki Barber never did get to him.
Got 4 yards, 2nd and 6. Dayne squirmed up for a couple.
Brian Urlacher, the middle linebacker, did a nice job of this. Because here he is right here, and you're going to see him read the run, and then he just kind of snakes in there. You see, he sees that double team, just runs right off it, and makes a pretty good tackle on Ron Dayne before he could get back to the line of scrimmage.
He's very quick.
Yeah, and, and those guys, like he was saying, in college, he was a safety. They said they never blocked him. He made a lot of tackles. Well, they just didn't block him on that play, and he made a tackle.
Here's Collins. Throws high, intended for Greg Camella. And the Giants will have to punt for the first time today.
Now, he was trying to throw it in the middle again. He was trying to hit Ike Hilliard in that same area in the middle, and the Bears, kind of tightened their zone down and had pretty good coverage on him. So Kerry Collins had to come off Ike Hilliard.
Brad Maynard to do the Giant punting. Glenn Milburn back deep for the Bears.
This is where Jim Fossil was telling us last night. He's trying to get Maynard to do directional kicking. If he'll do it, he is angling to the left here.
Aiming to go out of bounds, and I think it went out of bounds a little sooner than he wanted it to.
I was watching him in practice. He was out there in the pregame warm-up doing that, and he was a lot more effective than he was on that directional kick.
Out of bounds just outside the 20.
We'll be down in Atlanta, and Atlanta wins today, and then they'll get to play the Rams next week, and they are really something. I mean, as good as they are on defense, though, you can do some things. I mean, as good as they are on offense, you can do some things to them with your offense.
Well, almost everybody has scored a lot of points against them.
Yeah, we were up there in Seattle last week, and that was a real shootout.
Yeah, it was a heck of a game. McNown signals to his left, drops to throw it. Gets rid of it complete. That's Bobby Ingram. That should be enough for a Bear first down. Reggie Stevens on the stop.
One thing that the Bears have, if they can get the running game going where they don't have to become one-dimensional, they do have some receivers, because Bobby Ingram can do things like that, you know, run that in and on that cross. And then on the other side, they got number 88, Marcus Robinson, who I think is one of the better receivers in the National Football League.
Certainly one of the biggest of the wide receivers. That's Curtis Enos. And right when they have a chance, let's go back for a game break to James Brown in Los Angeles.
All right, Pat, we saw Minnesota score a little earlier. Guess what? Patriots put together a sustained drive. They come back and score on this Kevin Falk run. It's all knotted at 7. 3:43 left in the first period of play. Back to Pat and John.
7-0 Giants at Soldier Field. The Bears have the ball. McNown back in the shotgun on 2nd and 8. There's Marcus Robinson in front of Jason Sehorn. Sehorn probably will go wherever Robinson goes.
Yeah, it's interesting. You look, here's the other side. See, they put 3 wide receivers on that side. They all run deep. And now what they're doing over on this side, they isolate Marcus Robinson on Jason Sehorn. Now, Jason Sehorn plays that pretty well. I mean, they're going to catch stuff in front of you. But he's not going to let Marcus Robinson get deep, because that's what Marcus Robinson intends to do.
That was James Allen on the last carry for a short gain.
Jason Sehorn looks like he's back. You know, remember he had that tough knee injury and surgery 2 years ago, and last year was kind of a rehab season for him, and this year he feels that he's back, he has his mind clear, and he's just playing football.
He looks more streamlined.
Move out there.
McNown, pass complete up the middle to Marcus Robinson. They move into Giant territory.
Yeah, one of the things that the Bears talked about is getting in a rhythm, and it looks like on this drive they're starting to get in a rhythm. The other thing is to move Marcus Robinson around. You know, they usually kept him outside, and this game they're going to move him around and move him from side to side in addition to in the slot.
1st and 10, Curtis Enos. Left side per yard, 1 yard.
Remember when Curtis Enos was the #1 draft choice of the Chicago Bears? He's in his 3rd year, and he's never really delivered for this Bear team. I mean, it's like he's like a horse who's never gotten out of the barn.
250-pound horse.
Yeah, and it's just never worked, and the fans haven't taken to him. And if you look today, every time he carries the ball, the fans are booing him.
That's the end of the first quarter with the score of the Giants 7, the Bears nothing. Fox NFL Sunday from Chicago will continue after these messages. Move 2nd and 8. Make it 9. Outside, caught by Bobby Ingram, a little bit shy of the first down from McNown.
And McNown is getting in that rhythm that we were talking about. He's 4 for 4 on this drive, and he just doesn't have any running game going for him yet. If you look at, you know, Curtis Enos, we're talking about him. He's carried the ball 3 times for 5 yards. And you say, we want James Allen. Well, he's carried it 2 times for 4 yards.
They got James Allen as the tailback. Enos is the fullback. That's Allen. And he doesn't do much better.
I think he got the first down now. It's going to be interesting where they spot that. I saw him reach beyond the first down marker.
It's going to be close enough, I think, to measure. The referee is Dick Hantak.
It's going to be short because you can see the ball is on the hash mark, and you look at the first down marker is on the 30-yard line. So it's going to be, if these chains stay standard, it's going to be a yard short, because that down marker should go to the 30-yard line, which it does, and they are a yard short.
Is he going to go?
No, he's going to kick a field goal.
Ettinger just came in. This is not a popular decision for those in attendance. These two teams played first back in 1925, 75 years ago at the Polo Grounds in New York.
Red Grange played in that game, didn't they?
70,000 people.
That's just Paul Ettinger here. He does this, and now he's going to turn his back completely to the goalpost. You watch that move there. Now look at this move here. No, he's still got one more move. There.
Turn around.
Turns back. Now that makes him a two-step kicker, and that first move is going to give him torque.
Is that what it does?
Torques him. And through all that, he misses.
Not enough torque. And so the score remains 7-0. I've never seen anybody turn their back on the target.
Now you get torque. Never grabbed you.
Connerly never did. No. He asked me what I was doing in there a lot of times.
It was different. Where a pat on the back can become a jerk and push.
Very quickly. Collins lays it out to Tiki Barber. Barber gets about a Walt Harris.
There's Olin Kreutz, the center for the Chicago Bears, going into the locker room. A pretty important part of this Chicago Bear offense. You know who did a good job on that last play of pass protection is old Lomas Brown. 16 years in the league. And you know, a lot of guys talk about the difference in attitude of the Giants. And one of the first guys I always mention is Lomas Brown.
That's Dane, and they stack him up after a short game. He might have gotten the first.
Stopped by Flanagan.
Yeah, we were talking about thunder and lightning, and thunder, of course, being when Dane is in there, lightning when Tiki Barber's in. Hey, look, it's even. They've each been in there 9 times, but when lightning is in there, they've gained 81 yards and scored a touchdown. When
different
Thunder's
situations.
in there, 9 for 52. That's right, because he would be in there. Thunder is in there more on the first downs and in the short yardage situation.
Right. Now we have lightning. Collins, blitz coming. He saw it. Urlacher. He can run, can't he?
Urlacher's doing pretty well.
Yes, he is.
He's a guy that they were all worried about. They drafted him #1. They brought him in as an outside linebacker. They have injuries. They move him to middle linebacker. He timed that blitz perfectly. He just let the blockers go where they were going, and then he came right off them.
They turned him loose. He can get there.
Yeah, because he has the speed. I mean, he was a safety in college at New Mexico. He was also their punt returner. Now, when you get a punt returner on a blitz, he's going to get there pretty quickly.
He weighs 250. Another Giant timeout as Collins trots over.
That's the second time that he's had to take a timeout, and you know, you do a lot of shifting and motioning, and sometimes you get caught up against the clock, and that's why you have to do that.
We talked to Brian Urlacher about what he needs to do in today's game.
Just the main thing I'm going to try and concentrate on is my alignment, my assignments. If I can get that down, if I can get pretty much in the right spot and know who I'm guarding and whether zone or man, I'll be fine, I think, because I can run to the ball, you know, fit where I'm supposed to. I just need to figure out where I'm going and where to align. You know, the biggest thing right now for me is getting aligned, and when they move, I need to move too. I'm too stationary. I need to know that when the offense adjusts, we need to adjust too.
I don't know if he runs faster or talks faster.
Both, and that's one of the rules. He who talks fast also runs fast when he has to. But the thing is they did simplify the defense for him, and it's kind of a where they just call it right or left, and they really don't make that many adjustments.
2nd and 18. Collins, screen pass. Tiki Barber. They pick up a lot of the yardage, not quite enough for a first down. About a 15-yard pickup.
And they got that on Urlacher that time. You know, part of the thing on the screen is reading it. And Brian Urlacher is going to get out there, but he didn't see many guys like Tiki Barber. Watch him. See, he's right there, number 54. Tiki Barber gave him a little step to the left, and then boom, his next step was to the right, and he ran right by him.
He overran it.
There's the shift the Giants do. 3 guys on this side. Then here's the motion.
Bears 3-man line. They bring a linebacker, but the Giants get somebody open. Ike Hilliard nevertheless. That's the kicker.
They don't even let you sit in the bench when you miss a kick like that. They give you the old Gatorade bucket for a while. And then no one gets around him. You notice that? Was that the way it was when you were a kid?
Oh, sure.
You'd miss one, you'd sit there by yourself. There's not a guy within 10 yards of him.
But we didn't have any buckets with tops on them like that. We just sat on the bucket.
Just the pail, the old water pail. What happened to pails?
I think they're still around. Here's Collins faking a result. Reverse. They're down to Barber. And a hit by Tony Parrish is a punishing one.
Tony Parrish will do that to you. He is one of the real hitters in this league, and when he can zero in on you, you know, Tiki Barber, we saw him make a move on Urlacher. Here you see the fake of the reverse, but look how calm and relaxed Kerry Collins is, and he throws that, and Parrish just zeroes in right there. I mean, that is a heck of an open field tackle.
2nd and 8. This is Dane. And Dane out of bounds by Mike Brown, but another Giant first down.
Yeah, Ron Dane was telling us last night that usually in college, when he would get near the sidelines, guys would go after his legs, and he'd just go out of bounds. He said he found in this league that guys are going after him high, like right there. And he said he thinks that he doesn't have to go out of bounds, that he could cut that thing back in, and I agree with him that you ought to cut it back in. But when a guy has a hole in the back of your helmet, has his hand in your helmet along with your head, it's tough to do.
Tough to cut it back in. Here's Collins dropping and firing. And incomplete in the direction of Amani Toomer.
But if you just watch the body language of Kerry Collins, you know, he's a totally different guy. I mean, just watch here. I mean, he kind of slumps his shoulders. He's relaxed. He used to be so tight that he was doing everything like a nose tackle. And this guy here, that's Sean Payton. He's the offensive coordinator now and quarterback coach, and he calls the plays. And these players really love his offense.
2nd and 10. Dane down to about the 16.
You know, in fact, the player, Tiki Barber, was saying that Sean Payton is as cocky as a player. And they were telling us a story. The first day they get together and having their meetings, he said, man, he said, there's a lot of great scripts. And he said, there's some bad scripts. He said, but when you get a script like Gone with the Wind, for example, then you're going to have a great movie. And then he put the playbook down, and he said, men, pointing to the playbook, this is Gone with the Wind.
It's 3rd and 5.
And the players believe it.
Frankly, my dear, I don't know what they're going to run. The ball's on the ground, and the Bears have it.
I don't think so. It'll be an incomplete pass.
Right.
Because there was that shovel pass,
yep.
And anytime you throw a shovel pass, if it is, it's an incomplete pass.
It's a forward pass, yes. Incomplete.
You see, they drop back there, and now even though it's a shovel-type pass, it is just an incomplete pass. Of course, that pass could have been intercepted. You see right there.
Got a hand on it. One of the Bears got a hand on it. Clyde Simmons.
Yeah, I mean, if Clyde Simmons caught that ball, he can intercept it, but it's not a fumble. It's an incomplete pass.
Aloiso, 34 yards out, is no good.
I think wind is a little factor on that.
A little bit. But it doesn't seem to be that strong. Dick Geron very happy about these developments.
Aloiso was having trouble kicking to that side. Now watch how he missed to the left, and it looked like the wind took it to the left a little. And then watch here in the game, it's the same thing. I mean, he kicks there, and the wind just takes it right there off to the left.
And you can see the flags up on top of the stadium blowing in that direction.
And Aloiso is still trying to sell his teammates that it was a wind kick and not him, but I think it was part wind, part Aloiso on that one.
7-0 score remains. This is James Allen. He gets about 6 or 7 yards. Flag on the play.
I think that's the first flag of the game, isn't it?
I think so. The Bears have a new center who sometimes plays in the backfield. Olin Kreutz, you saw, headed for the locker room a minute ago.
Personal foul.
Problem is
unnecessary roughness on number 44 of the offense. Continuing action foul.
Curtis Enos.
We will penalize 15 yards. Repeat the down first.
Curtis Enos is getting frustrated. I mean, every time he carries the ball, he hasn't gained yards. You're going to see it right there in the top of your frame, right there after the play is over. He just came and knocked someone down, but I think he's getting very frustrated, don't you? That he carries the ball and doesn't gain any yards, and then gets booed, and you know he's trying to think, I have to do something out here, and then he starts to push, and then sometimes you start to push and you're frustrated, then stupidity jumps in.
Casey Whiteman is the new Bears center, number 60. McNown in the shotgun. He likes this. Ball deflected. Right now, let's send you down to the sidelines and DJ Johnson.
As you saw earlier, Bears center Olin Kreutz was taken off the field, hobbling a little bit. They checked him out, and preliminary indications are that he strained his knee. Now, they're not finished checking him out, but preliminarily, he strained his knee, and we'll let you know a little bit more as it comes to us. Back up to you, Pat and John.
Thank you, DJ. Preliminarily, that's a pretty good word. Down to Enos. Cut down, and again, let's go to Los Angeles for a game break.
Pat and John, defensive holding and pass interference helped to set up great field position for the Vikings. Play action, Culpepper, a 3-inch, if you will, pass to Johnny McWilliams. Vikings on top, 14-7, 9:53 left in the first half. Pat and John.
Back at Soldier Field, 3rd and 13 Bears. McNown out of the shotgun. Screen pass. Robinson. One of those wide receivers screens. Jason Sehorn made the stop. Not enough for a first down.
And this is the thing that, you know, the Bears do very well. You see it starts in an empty backfield. And what they do, 3 on this side, 2 on this side. Then they start the receiver, Marcus Robinson. He just starts back in towards the line of scrimmage. You see him here? He comes back a little, starts in. They hit him on the run, pick up a block right there just as he catches the ball. And then he's running back into the middle of the field from being aligned outside. The Bears throw that screen better than anyone in the league.
I'm not sure that was a legal bluff.
It was a locker cleaner.
Yep. Tiki Barber back for the Giants. Fields the punt and has a chance with this one. Not much of one, however. As the Bears covered well. 7:10 left in the first half. 7-0. Soldier Field, Chicago. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Beautiful, bright, sunshiny day. Just perfect. Natural grass.
We've seen some great games here over the years.
Boy.
You know, I mean, you think of all the tradition here, and you know, George Halas and the Bears and that '85 Bear team and the great Walter Payton. I've never walked in this stadium that I haven't thought of Walter Payton. I mean, he epitomizes what an NFL football player is.
That's Tiki Barber. He hasn't really been able to get on track so far.
He was telling us last night how Greg Camella has this hill in New Jersey, 2.5 miles that he runs this hill. So Greg Camella talked Tiki Barber into running it, and he felt that got him in the best shape he's ever been in. And he used to run it once a week. Greg Camella runs it 3 times a week.
Collins pass to Toomer. Quick slant.
You know where Amani Toomer went to high school? He went to De La Salle High School in Concord. De La Salle has won over 100 straight games. Here's Amani Toomer right here. That's the thing you have to do in a slant. The guy comes up and bumps you. All you have to do is get on his inside shoulder. Once you get on his inside shoulder, then you got the slant. The quarterback can just lead you in there.
Not quite.
Isn't that something? I mean, De La Salle High School last year had won 100 straight games. And I think they're either 1-0 or 2-0 this year. That's where Amani Toomer, one of the NFL players, and I'm not sure if he started that 100 or not, because this is his 5th year in the league. And so he could have been about the start of
De La Salle's here in Chicago.
No, De La Salle's in Concord, California.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they're always rated #1 in all high school polls.
Ron Dane is the deep back, and Collins gives to him. And he is piled up on 3rd and short, but he got enough for the first down.
A good block by Greg Camella. I mean, he was the guy that had a move, and he got just enough push right there at the end to get that first down. They're going to come out here and right there at the bottom of the screen, they get that push. It gets that first down.
You know who's doing a pretty good job is Urlacher.
Yeah, he is, because those defensive tackles right here, that front line, are keeping the blockers off of it.
Collins chased out of the pocket. Drops it upfield, complete to Dan Campbell, the 3rd of the Giants tight ends.
You really have something at that tight end position now. And Howard Cross has been playing there forever, and he's the blocker. Pete Mitchell is a receiver, and Campbell is kind of a in-between guy. He makes a nice move there and comes back in. And you see what Collins did. He's running to his left, throws back to his right, but he throws it where only his guy could catch it.
Difficult catch by Campbell, and a good one. 1st and 10 at the Bear 46. Collins to throw it. Dickie Barber, open down the sideline, moves to the Bear 25. Warwick Holdman.
A heck of a throw by Kerry Collins, because Mike Flanagan or Mike Wells was right there. I mean, you're going to see the pressure here, and you see right there, Mike Wells is going to be coming in right, comes off his block, and he's diving right at his legs as he throws that ball. So he can't follow through. So he couldn't really step, and he didn't get everything into his body, and that was all arm throw.
Pitch back, flea flicker, Collins fires. Incomplete. Ike Hilliard dived. Thought he had it.
Thomas Smith was on him there. He had pretty good coverage. This may be one that they review. If Hilliard believes that he caught it, I don't know.
No.
I mean, he has control of it there.
Think he did?
I don't know that it hit the ground before he had control of it, but he does have control of it there.
I'm not sure he ever had control.
Well, he has control at the end. I don't think that thing hits the ground. I don't know. Because remember, if you have control of it, remember they changed that rule where a piece of the ball can touch the ground.
Yeah. I don't think he ever had control.
Yeah, but it looked like my raw eyes, I thought he did have control. I never saw the ball hit the ground.
The Giants are challenging.
Jim Fossil must agree with me.
New York is challenging the play on the field of incompletion.
This is going to be a pretty tough one, I think.
Yep.
I mean, you would like to see clearly where the ball hits the ground. I never did see it. Now, a part of it can, as long as you have control.
That's what I don't think he ever had control.
Well, he does have control at the end. You mean he didn't have control right off the bat?
When it's rolling around his body.
Yeah, I think he has enough control there. He has control there. But it's going to be as did the ball hit the ground before he got it.
Different angle.
This goes back to the Bert Emanuel play, doesn't it?
Back in the championship game, you mean?
Yeah, and that's one, remember, where he really did have control of it, and a part of the ball touched the ground. So now they can say that a part of the ball can touch the ground. And if you look at that official that's saying no,
he's pretty emphatic.
Yeah, I know, but he's behind it too.
Yeah.
I mean, he was shielded. So that's why you have instant replay, because if there's an angle that he couldn't see.
Well, Dick Hantak will let us know.
I wouldn't want to beat Dick Hantak right now.
After reviewing the play stands as called on the field. Incomplete. New York has charged their third timeout.
I won't gloat.
Well, let me say before you say you won't gloat, you were right. I still say it was a legal catch, but I said that Bertie Manuel one was a legal.
Well, I thought that one was a manual.
Yeah. You didn't think he ever had control?
No, I didn't in this one.
Oh.
But we're still friends. I mean.
No. That's good. I mean, that's what this thing is all about. And you know, again, you know, when they called it on the field incomplete, then to change it, it has to be something that can't be
right.
I mean, they have to. What's that word they use?
Irrefutable.
What?
Is that it? Irrefutable?
No, not irrefutable.
Collins gets away from one pursuer, slides, picked up 2 or 3. Inconclusive. Is that the word you're thinking of?
That's the word I was trying to think of. Okay. Yeah, it has to be inconclusive, and that's probably, I mean, that's a rule too. That is that we said it was incomplete. Now it doesn't conclusively show that it's not incomplete. Therefore, it's inconclusive. That's what they call it.
Collins back to throw in the direction of Tiki Barber. Barber didn't know it was coming.
Well, again, that's the type of thing that, you know, the Giants really have this thing under control. They had the time of possession we just showed. They're keeping their defense off the field, keeping them fresh, and Terry Collins doesn't want to force anything. So in other words, you know, if you're going to, the worst thing you can do is try another field goal. Remember the last time Daloiso kicked from here, he was wide left. You ought to adjust that and kick it out here.
41 yards out. Blocked. Like the kick was low to begin with.
Yeah, that thing never did get up.
No.
I'll tell you one thing about this Chicago Bear defense. They'll fight you.
Yeah.
You know, even though they were blown out last week by Tampa Bay 41-0, they really fought them. I mean, they fought them. Watch this thing. It looks like the snap is a little low, and then the kick is a lot low.
Yep.
That's a tough deal.
That's a tough.
Did that ever happen to you?
Oh, yeah.
Holding it,
sure.
Let go before you got there.
Yeah.
This is a big thing here. I mean, the Bears have only been able to rush for 17 yards, and that's putting a lot of pressure on the quarterback, Cade McNown.
McNown drops, throws to Robinson. Right now for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Pat and John, Dante Culpepper continuing to have an excellent first half, 12 of 14, 132 yards, 2 touches. This one a pass to Mr. Hatchett, Matthew Hatchett, 39 yards. They're on top, 21-7. Back to Pat and John.
James Allen gets the carry.
Brian Urlacher, the rookie middle linebacker, and you see in a game like this, I mean, they have to be coaching him up. They were coaching him up yesterday, and then, you know, last night in meetings, and then even during the game. I mean, they have to show him the pictures and show him the formations and still talk about the adjustments and kind of talk him through this game.
He's going to be a heck of a player. That's Allen. Hit down before he gets back to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, if you look at the guy on top of that is Keith Hamilton. Every time I watch this Giant defense, Keith Hamilton is very strong in the middle, and he always plays a good game, and he's one of the defensive linemen that hardly ever gets a mention. But
that's right.
This guy, you don't get much movement. It's tough to get in that middle when Keith Hamilton's playing.
2-minute warning. 7-0. The Giants over the Chicago Bears. For more than 75 years, Goodyear has been providing aerial coverage at the world's major sporting events.
I think it's a helicopter today, though. I don't think it's a blimp. I think I was just looking up in the air and I saw a helicopter flopping over here.
Well, I saw a blimp in the corner of the picture.
Yeah, but I think that's a phony deal.
Here comes a blitz. Down. Gets it outside to Macy Brooks, who shakes one tackler. One thing about the Bear wide receivers, they are maybe the biggest in the NFL.
Hey, Marcus Robinson, one of the biggest and one of the best. The Bears are going here without a huddle.
Macy Brooks about 6'5".
James Allen made a heck of a block on picking up the blitz on that last play.
McNown steps up, drops it across the middle to James Allen, and Allen gets it into Giant territory and a Bear first down.
The play before, he got his head cleared on that blitz, and then he caught that. That's one thing about Cade McNown. He's playing an excellent first half, because we talked earlier about the best friend of a quarterback is a good running game, and he's had absolutely no running in this first half. It's had to be his arm, and he hasn't run himself. I mean, that's one thing you always have to worry about McNown is his running the ball himself. There's Gary Croton. He's the offensive coordinator of this Bear team. And again, the big thing he wants to do is get a rhythm, get him in sync. And he hasn't been able to do that because he hasn't gotten the running game going.
Well, he's very unhappy with himself. Yesterday when we talked to him, he kept saying, I got to do better. I got to do better.
Yeah, he didn't think that he did a good job last week in Tampa calling plays.
1st and 10. The handoff to Allen, and Allen will get another Bear first down. They'll move the sticks with the clock running. 1 minute and 12 seconds left to play in the first half.
That's why you have to stay with things. But because the Giants haven't scored anymore and only have 7 points, the Bears can do that.
Here's Robinson is open. Touchdown. He's out of bounds. No touchdown. Very close. Jason Sehorn back there with him, but he's out of bounds.
Yeah, Robinson can do this. He can get deep, and then he's a big, strong guy. See, that right elbow, he pushes off a little before he goes up for the ball. And you have to look and see where his foot is. You see, now he's up in the air when he catches the ball. Now he has to come down and get both feet inbound.
Unless he's pushed out while he's in the air.
And I don't think he was. I think that both of those, I think the first and second foot were out.
And they're going to review the play. This is an official rule because it's in the last 2 minutes of either half.
Yeah, he had a couple steps on Jason Sehorn.
Yes, he did.
I mean, if Cade McNown got that ball out there and just threw it to the second pylon, that would have been a lot easier touchdown. I think right there, his foot as he comes down is out of bounds.
This one, I agree with you.
We're both on the same page, in other words?
Yes. Unless they say that Sehorn's body knocked him out of bounds.
Yeah, but it did.
And I don't think it did.
I mean, watch Sehorn. He's just flopping in the air. I mean, he may have some contact, but I think that right there, he's out of bounds. In fact, I know he's out of bounds. I saw the chalk fly.
Yeah.
And that official there was in good position. I mean, he's there where he can see the ball,
and he
control, and the feet. And he's pointing. In fact, he's pointing right to the spot where he touched out of bounds.
Dick Hantack is over. Looking at the replays, the tapes.
They have to put their caps on backwards when they do that, so they don't have to put their bill on top of that thing.
Well,
so your hat never leaves your head.
Block out all the light.
I like this guy, Marcus Robinson. He's a star player, and he's a kind of a star guy. Bright-eyed guy. Mother watches every game that he plays on DirecTV.
Said they called him out of practice to come home and get the dog from under the house.
Well, the first time his mother didn't want him to play high school football, and she came out when he had practice. So his sister said, "Go get him," and his sister said, "Mom doesn't want you to play. Get out of there." And he had to get up and leave. And the coach came over and talked to his mother and then talked to him into playing, and he was able to play. Then he was playing for another week, and she called and said, "Send him home." But she can't find the dog.
The dog's under the house.
So he said he just went home and called the dog, and the dog came running out.
This is a booth review.
And these Bear fans want that review to be a touchdown.
The 90-second time period ran out. The play stands as called on the field. Incomplete pass.
You know, that 90-second rule means that they just stopped showing them pictures.
Yeah.
That Dick Handak watched the pictures, for 90 seconds. And then after 90 seconds, boom, that thing just goes to black, and he didn't have any pictures to watch.
That shouldn't have taken 90 seconds to review that one.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you can see the foot down.
2nd and 10. McNown, low snap. Here's a screen pass again. This is Ingram. And Ingram will get a Bear first down at the Giant 25.
And the Bears still have 2 timeouts. They're taking 1 here, so they're going to have 1 timeout remaining. But, we talked about this screen, and there's no one that does it better than the Bears.
Coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B. Terry and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. And our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
The other thing that's been pretty impressive here, one is Cade McNown and the job that he's doing. But 2, this offensive line. I mean, they've lost the center. The offensive line, without a running game, is doing a pretty good job of pass protection. Now, some of these things come out of there quickly, the screens and all those things, but I think that this offensive line of the Bears has the defensive line of the Giants pretty well under control.
Remember, Olin Kreutz, the starting center, is out of there. This is the second-team center, the backup center.
And here's a big matchup right here, Michael Strahan.
Kreutz won't be back. Pass is caught by Marcus Robinson. He gets down to about the 11-yard line. Clock running with 34 seconds. Now down.
And because they had the first down, they can just kill the clock right here by throwing it down, which Cade McNown did, which was a big play at the end by Marcus Robinson getting that first down. Then that allowed the Bears not to have to use a timeout. See, this is what, all players have to be aware, of down and distance and time and all those things. Here you see Robinson. He just comes across. He catches that ball now. He knows that he has to get a first down. And watch him stretch right there to get that first down. Now, because he did that, Cade McNown could just kill the clock because he had first down.
They can make the first down without scoring. McNown starts the motion. Back to throw it is Cade McNown. Fires. Has Ingram at about the 1.
Now I think they have to take their timeout.
Cade McNown takes the timeout with 18 seconds. That's all of them.
You got the 18 seconds, but now you need a good play. This is where you want the coach to call the play.
Ingram is down, who just made that pass reception.
Bobby Ingram is a tough guy. I mean, you look at all those passes that he catches are inside. You think a little guy like that would stay outside, but Ingram is a guy, the go-to inside guy. I think he really got rattled on this one. I mean, the ball does. Right, the ball does come out at the end. I don't even know that he had control of that. Watch this one. I wonder if they'll review that one. And he catches that ball. Now I guess he does. And then the ball's hit. He's hit. The ball comes out.
That's Emmanuel McDaniel who hit him. This one's not being reviewed.
I guess they would figure that he has control there, but the ball comes out, and then he's going to recover the ball.
I don't know that it makes a lot of difference, but he did not make a first down. It's going to be at about the 2, and the first down markers are just outside the 1.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make any difference, because what they're going to have to do is run a play here, and I think if they don't make it, they're going to have to kick a field goal. Ingram got that ball knocked out and his knee hurt on the same play.
When you have, as Bobby Ingram limps to the sideline, when you have a running quarterback like a Cade McNown, do you run some kind of rollout down here?
That's what I would think, a bootleg. I mean, that's the biggest play right down here, and it would be more effective if they really had to worry about the run. And I don't know that the Giants right here won't just play Cade McNown. Ingram's caught 4 passes today for 38 yards, and those 4 catches and 38 yards were tough catches and tough yardage.
3rd and 1 at the Giant 2. McNown gets up under the center. And here he comes. He throws. Touchdown. Eddie Kennison. Touchdown from McNown. He started that rollout. Not rollout. He started a sprint out.
Hey, he did, and that was all Cade McNown. I mean, they had one running play in there, but he is really playing under control today, and he wants to move the pocket. I mean, here's Eddie Kennison. He's the outside guy. He just runs a quick out, and of course, Cade McNown was sprinting to that side.
Yep.
It was a sprint left. Cade McNown, again, you expect that because he's a left-handed quarterback.
Edinger to tie. 7-7 tie at Soldier Field. The Giants and the Bears.
There's the sprint out, and Cade McNown, by being left-handed, can really throw that thing on the run, but even bigger than that, he can see his receivers all the way.
Don't forget that coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B. Terry and Chris will have all the scores and highlights. Here's the touchdown again. Our Fox Sports ticker at the half will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report. Cade McNown.
Cade McNown's really hung in there, and like I've been saying, he's done it, you know, without having a running game. And the Giants had, you know, so much time of possession. They had so many opportunities, and you know, they missed a field goal, then they, you know, bobbled the snap on another field goal, and they didn't take advantage of those opportunities. And you let a team like Chicago at home hang in there, and they can come back and jump up and bite you, and we're in the process of seeing that right now.
It's amazing how many times that happens when you control a game and seemingly everything is going your way and you don't get points out of it. The other team comes back.
And the other thing is you come into a place, the team playing at home that has been embarrassed the week before is always tough.
And it's opening day. Greg Camella returned the kick.
You know, the only thing they missed here, I mean, they had that great ceremony with the flag and the Navy here and all that, but they don't have any bunting. And there's some, I mean, in Chicago, Soldier Field, opening day here, you know, they got the boats out there and the water and the great city, and man, they just ought to have some bunting here. I saw Ed McCaskey before the game.
You tell him that?
Well, no, I should have. I didn't know they didn't have bunting because I saw Ed outside. Ed McCaskey, of course, is married to George Hallis's daughter, Virginia McCaskey.
Virginia's got some bunting, I'll guarantee you. Tiki Barber wide open, steps out of bounds. 2 seconds left.
And I think this is a chance. Remember, the half can't end on a defensive penalty. So I think this is a shot here that you don't have a chance to get in field goal position and kick a field goal. So I think you just throw the ball up, and I think Terry Collins can reach the end zone.
Oh my goodness!
Yes. You try and throw it here. You see, you got the 3 guys off on this side. You just try and throw that deep one.
He's going to hang it up there. These have been completed. This one's knocked down. That's the end of the first half. Bears tie the Giants 7-7 at Soldier Field, Chicago. Opening day for the Bears, and they're back in this contest.
Is that the Bears have only rushed for 30 yards, and that Cade McNown has been able to pass for 138 yards. I mean, that's the big thing, that he's played as close to a perfect game as a quarterback can.
Giants 13 first downs, the Bears 10. Let's look further, investigate the first half, the first quarter, the scoring plays, John.
Well, this was off the play pass, and the Giants got their speed in there and took advantage. And then after that, they really weren't that. They were able to move the ball, but not get the score. And then, you know, here's the missed field goal. I mean, you got a missed field goal there, and then that's the Bears' missed field goal. Here's the Giants, where it's going wide left from the right hash mark. And then remember this one. Tries to put the ball down, boom, drops it right into the line. So the thing is, it's been a tough day for field goal kickers.
Yep.
And anytime you come to Chicago and you come to Soldier Field, wind is going to be a factor in the game.
Yet they've had some outstanding field goal kickers for the Bears. Kevin Butler, Blanda, some pretty good ones.
Yeah, that would be. I mean, if you were a field goal kicker, though, or a kicker, and you had to choose where you wanted to kick or where
it wouldn't be Soldier Field.
It wouldn't be here.
Glenn Milburn back at the 5. He's broken a few. Right now, let's send you down to D.J. Johnson.
At the half, Giants quarterback Kerry Collins said the Bears blitzed a little more than they expected, but he thinks they did a pretty good job, and they should do a better job in the second half. As for the Bears, very bad news. Wide receiver Bobby Ingram is out for this game. I spoke to Dick Duran about it, and he said Ingram's just a hard guy to replace. He's a very gritty player, does well on the inside routes, and that's really where they're going to miss him. He said at this time, his young team has to step up and take his place. Back up to you, Pat and John.
Macy Brooks, it appears, will take his place. Here's Curtis Enos. He lowered his shoulder and took him on.
He's not going to run out of bounds. This is the offense I was talking about. Look, they had 29 plays in the first half, and they rushed 10 times for only 30 yards, and their passing was 19 for 138, and only 11 minutes time of possession. But the whole thing really in that first half offensively fell on the shoulders of Cade McNown.
James Allen back beside McNown. Outside quick, incomplete. Macy Brooks looked up the field before the ball arrived.
Yeah, that's what they call a swing pass, and this is one of Gary Croton's big passes. What he does is you get 3 guys out here, you run him off, and this is a 3rd guy in, and you just swing him. So what that is, it's a pass in lieu of a run, and that's a way that they get outside without being able to run outside.
And now pump fake, gives to Allen. Gets across the 45, stopped by Michael Strahan.
Yeah, that's been a pretty good matchup there, that Big Cat Williams against Michael Strahan, and Big Cat's doing a pretty good job of pass protection. In fact, this whole Bear offensive line is.
Strahan was saying last night that Big Cat is so big, he just engulfs you.
Here's Big Cat right here, and here's Michael Strahan right there if you want to watch that one.
McNown back to throw. Incomplete. Intended for Eddie Kennison. Juggled it and lost it. The Bears will have to punt.
You know, last week when we watched the film with Tampa Bay against the Bears, I mean, Cade McNown didn't have that kind of time, and they were blitzing him all the time, and he was just running for his life. They had 4 turnovers in the first half, and this is a totally different Bear team today than the one we saw last week.
Bartholomew to kick. Tiki Barber back deep for the Giants. A little after the play is over conversation. 1st and 10 Giants at their own 11-yard line. What a day it is.
Yeah, here's where that Bear defense starts with those 2 tackles there, Flanagan and Wells. They don't let you get a push inside.
Pitch back to Barber. They don't let you get much, do they?
That's the thing, and you just see him close and handle that middle all the time, and that's why the Giants haven't really been able to run. You just watch Mike Wells. He's right here. See, he takes on that block and then goes right down the line of scrimmage, staying inside because they know Tiki Barber wants to do what? He wants to cut back. So he takes away that cutback.
Ron Dayne off to the right side, and he's cut down by Mike Wells again.
And you know, I was talking about Keith Hamilton of the Giants, and I think Mike Wells of the Chicago Bears is the same guy. A guy that you always say, I mean, he's not a great pass rusher. He gets a little push in there, but he really does control that middle of the line of scrimmage. And I think that that's helped Brian Urlacher today. You know, the rookie middle linebacker, because Wells and Flanagan have been keeping the middle of the Giant offensive line off of Urlacher.
Here's Collins on 3rd and 5. That's Cross in motion, and here's Terry Collins. Pass is complete to Howard Cross, who normally doesn't catch that many balls.
Yeah, we have to look now and see how Thunder and Lightning are doing. We know that they have a formation. If it's Thunder, Dayne goes in. If it's Lightning, Tiki Barber goes in. Now, you look at Ron Dayne has had 10 touches, 35 yards. And Tiki has 10 touches for 85 yards. And Jim Fossil said he would like to have them each have 20 to 25 touches a game.
Here's Barber again, and he cuts back, and this is when he's so dangerous. Taken down at the 40 by Mike Brown.
And it's funny, the more you cut back and the more the other teams see that on film, the less you're going to be able to do it because they're really ready for it. Now watch this defense here. I mean, they're playing inside. They're not over pursuing on Tiki Barber. Now watch his feet. At some point, both feet come out of the ground so he can redirect himself. But that Bear defense also redirects themselves.
2nd and 5. Ehrlicher ran right by him. Yep, Greg Camella.
That's the thing that, you know, he wasn't. I think he was probably expecting Greg Camella to be a blocker and not a runner. And watch Ehrlicher. He's going to go. He's going to run right by him. He starts in here and he just goes whack. He didn't see it. He didn't see Camella at all.
Second down. They're going to measure, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard.
You know, Tiki Barber is so impressed with Greg Camella. He said he's just one big hunk of muscle.
Yeah.
He said he's never seen anyone work as hard and be as strong as Greg Camella is. They're best friends, Tiki Barber and Greg Camella.
Running up and down that hill 3 times a week.
Yeah, it's a 2.5-mile hill. Yeah, that's not just a little hill. Remember the guy that started that hill running, though, in football was
Jerry Rice.
Payton. No, Walter Payton. Before.
Yeah, you're right.
And then it was Jerry Rice. And, you know, great players tend to work harder than a lot of average ones, don't they?
That tends to go with greatness, doesn't it?
Well, when you talk about Walter Payton and Jerry Rice, you're talking about 2 of the greatest that ever played. We got to get this block.
Dayne with room. Flag on the play. Mike Brown made the stop on Ron Dayne, but it's going to be called back.
But that was a way to get it blocked, you know, because they had it all clogged up in the middle, and they just took it out 1 hole. The Bears played the 2 and the 4 hole very well and didn't play the 6 hole. It's all academic anyway.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Wells and Flanagan in there. They played that thing strong.
Holding. Offense. Number 84. 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down. 3rd down.
Joe Jurevicius.
Jurevicius is a wide receiver out there. I have no idea what these two guys are doing. I have no idea. I mean, I don't know that that's football or whatever. I mean, they just go up there and stand there and grab each other. I mean, either run them off or block them. But what Jurevicius did there, I have no idea what you call that, or if you ever practice that.
I don't think you can practice that.
No, but I mean, you're better doing nothing than doing that. I mean, obviously that, took a first down away from the Giants and, lost them another opportunity. Now, this isn't a bad situation. I mean, they're third and about 4, and that doesn't bother this Giant offense the way it used to bother Giant offenses in the last 4 or 5 years.
Bears are up in mass. Hollins, I believe, changed the play, quickly gets rid of it, and the Bears are equal to the occasion. Greg Camilla made the reception, and he was hit down quickly.
Because Tony Parrish, number 37, came on a blitz. And that was the only thing that Kerry Collins could do, is get rid of that ball. So the whole thing was set up by the blitz. They had an overload on the left side. They brought Tony Parrish, and he made Kerry Collins pull up and get rid of that ball before he wanted to.
Milburn back for the Bears.
Whistles all over the place.
Everywhere.
Whistles, there's a flag, there's a hat, there's a helmet.
The Bears are applauding on their
prior to the snap. False start. Offense, number 53. 5-yard penalty. Still 4th down.
Brandon Short.
Look at this. Here's Tony Parrish I was talking about. You see, he came on a blitz, and that ball comes around there. And I'll tell you, anytime that ball gets out there, especially when it's 3rd down and it's short, it is going to attract a whole bunch of guys. The thing that made that was Tony Parrish.
So Brad Maynard back to punt again, and Glenn Milburn back deep for the Bears. This is dangerous. This is a fine kick. Flag on the play as Milburn fielded it at about his own 5, but there's a penalty marker down.
And it looked like it's going to be either roughing or running into the kicker.
It is. It's a first down either way.
No, if it's a 5-yard penalty,
well, it won't be enough. That's right.
It won't be enough for a first down. Because this isn't an automatic first down thing, and they need more than 5. So if it's a 5-yard variety, then it's still going to be 4th down. But the ball is on the 15. I think the Giants would probably turn it down.
Running into the kicker. Defense. Penalty is declined. Result of the play. First down, Chicago.
Exactly right, Coach.
And you see, here it is, and again, that's just the run-in right there. Now, if that were a 15-yard penalty, then it would have been a first down.
It would have been a first down, but not enough. First down, Bears at their own 15. Cade McNown, the quarterback. Fake to James Allen. McNown going deep. Had a man, just overthrew him. Marcus Robinson.
Cade McNown is looking to the referee, and he's, I'll tell you, Keith Hamilton comes right up the middle. You're going to get a fake here. Now watch, he gets a fake there. He puts his head down. Now watch Keith Hamilton right after he throws that ball. Boom, boom. McNown went down, and he turned to the referee, and he wanted a roughing the passer there. I mean, one thing, he didn't go for his head, or he didn't go helmet to helmet, but he did hit him after the ball was out of there. Yeah. Cade McNown had a point.
Here's McNown out of the shotgun. Taken down by Keith Hamilton.
That's the guy I was talking about. Yeah. It seems like every time we do a Giant game, they talk about the ends, they talk about linebackers, defensive backs, but it's this guy, Keith Hamilton, that always seems to make the plays. And we saw him just hit him on that play before. Here you see a good pass rush. He gets off Todd Perry there, and he comes up with a sack. But he's just one of those guys that controls the middle and always gives a push right up the middle.
Just big, strong guy. There's McNown.
Very underrated.
Flag on the play. McNown retreated into his end zone. It was intended for Marcus Robinson.
I think it's going to be Casey Wegman who they call it against the center.
Yeah.
Because Casey Wegman was the center, and he come out and he took someone down just before they got to McNown.
With a trip.
Tripping. Offense number 58. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Ball against Valerio.
Chris Valerio, they got him for tripping, but Wegman made a block right in front of the official. I thought that was the one he was calling.
Barber back deep.
This is a very, very good position for a punt return because the punter can't do anything directionally with the ball.
He can do that. He just popped it up. The Bears down at about their own 44-yard line, where the Giants will take over, as you say, in really good shape. At the Bear 44. 7-7 tie, 8:16 left to play in the 3rd quarter.
Mickey Smith is a backup safety and a special teams guy.
And a good one.
In fact, he plays behind Tony Parrish. But the big loss is Kreutz in the middle and Bobby Ingram. I mean, Bobby Ingram is
the possession guy.
Is a possession guy and the tough guy of this receiver core, and the guy that does the inside stuff, and Robinson does the the deep stuff.
Collins gives to Tiki Barber, and there's room inside the 25, about the 24. Tiki Barber.
Tiki Barber loves this offense. I mean, and what Sean Payton is doing with it, and he loves the fact that that he has Ron Dane there, and they can hit it one way and then hit it the other way. That's where they took advantage of Brian Urlacher, the middle linebacker, the rookie middle linebacker. He just stunned it to the left. He just ran himself right out of the play and ran himself right out of the hole that Tiki Barber ran in.
20-yard pickup. This is Dane this time. And he gets good yardage. Almost broke it.
You got Dusty Ziegler in there, Ron Stone, Glenn Parker. These 3 guys here. Watch the blocking that they get. They get movement there, and then they just stay with it, and then they give them a cutback. You see that? That was Parker that got that block, because even though you're going right side, with cutback running, the left side blocking is equally as important.
Dane again. Past the 15 as he moves the pile.
Well, Glenn Parker's getting some movement over there. We talk about that new offensive line. Lomas Brown, the left tackle. Glenn Parker, the left guard. Dusty Ziegler, the center. But on that play there, Glenn Parker fired out, and he really got moving. And that was the start of the creation of the hole. Like someone must have told this offensive line, you guys go out there and start taking control of this game, because they really hadn't done it.
3rd and 1. Dane. Around the corner and run. Dane didn't hit out of bounds that time, did he?
No, he said he learned something. He said in college, as I said, they used to go for his legs. And now that he's found out that when you get on the sideline, they don't go for your legs. He said they're going to go high for me, so then I don't have to run out of bounds. He squares his shoulder right there, and he sees that thing, and he gets underneath it, and that's the way you do it.
Yep.
I mean, that's who's going to have the power. Mike Brown, number 30, is also a rookie. Dane, the rookie, gets underneath him and straightens him up and knocks him back.
Dane gets a rest. Barber gets the carry. Inside the 5, about the 3.5.
One thing that you have to do when you have lightning and thunder, you can't run lightning outside all the time and thunder inside all the time. And
too much of a pattern.
Well, there's been an example right there. They ran thunder outside, then they come back with lightning and run lightning inside.
Second and goal at the 3. 7-7 the score. Here comes Tiki Barber, scores.
That was an interesting play there. Glenn Parker does a good job. Glenn Parker has really done a great job of blocking on this whole drive. We saw some man blocking. Now watch it. Here's Tiki Barber. He's going to come on reverse. Glenn Parker is a pulling guard, and he's going to make a block right there. Watch the left guard. This is what makes it. Here he is, right here. He's going to turn up and make the contact right there. When he makes that contact, Tiki Barber right in behind him, sees it, boom, right into the end zone.
He just kept rolling after he threw. The extra point is good by Dan Rizzo. And the Giants lead it 14-7.
He says he has a landmark. When he pulls out there, he found his landmark right there. Dane had it 3 times. Barber had it 3 times. They ran for 43 yards, 6 running carries.
Tiki Barber now has 286 yards this year, more than he had all last year. Milburn going to bring it out of the end zone. Just outside the 20. We talked to Glenn Parker about what he targets while pulling.
Well, again, if I'm the first puller, I'm looking for the inside shoulder of the guy I'm supposed to hit. That's my landmark. Whether that's defensive end, Sam linebacker, corner, doesn't matter. I'm looking for that. If I'm the second puller, my first landmark's the outside hip of the first puller, so I can get to the right spot. And the second is I'm looking for the inside shoulder of the guy he's supposed to hit. That allows me to turn the corner or cut inside, depending on how that block is made.
McNown outside Macy Brooks.
It was interesting, Glenn Parker talking about that, his landmark being his shoulder. He didn't even go for his shoulder. He was the first puller. What he's talking about is sometimes if the right guard pulls and he's a left guard pulling to the right, he becomes the second puller. On that one, he was the only puller, so he's the first puller, and he just went and cut his guy.
Who was a cornerback in that case. Here's McNown.
Oh, he had one.
Macy Brooks over his head. He did have one.
Yeah, Macy Brooks has taken Bobby Ingram's place. And remember Macy Brooks when he was a rookie? I remember seeing him in a preseason game. He played for the Dallas Cowboys.
That's right.
And they really thought that he was going to be something special. He was out of James Madison. Then he got injured.
Broke his arm.
Yeah, and then he never really did get back and ended up here with the Bears. But you know, he was one of those big guys that could run.
3rd and 2. McNown is down by Jesse Armstead.
I think the Giants figure that they better start getting a little more pressure and start getting some blitzes. Here they bring Jesse Armstead. You see, he comes on a delay. He waited until they all got keyed in on their blocks, and then he came later. That was a heck of a blitz by Jesse Armstead by waiting, you know, not hitting that hole right away. Let them get their blocks. Don't believe he's coming, and coming late.
Good kick by Bartholomew. Tiki Barber retreats. Evades the first wave. Down at about the 38. Tough to be a quarterback. Our house today. So far it has been.
Jesse just got that big blitz, and again the thing was, because it was a delay, you know, he waited just long enough that every blocker took his guy, and then you don't get counted.
Chastain moving the stack forward about 3 or 4 yards. Right now for a game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
They've had Seattle aiming for its first win here, capping a 12-play, 78-yard drive. Kitna to Atulamili. It is now 17-10 Seattle, 9:13 left in the fourth. Back to Pat Summerall, John Madden.
2nd and 7 at Soldier Field. Giants have the ball, leading by a touchdown. Down the corner is Tiki Barber. Barber spins. Gets it up for first.
You know, someplace Sean Payton decided that he was going to call runs in this second half, because this is a 13th run in the second half, and he's only passed 2 times. But again, now that offensive line has taken control and he got his runners going, and you can see that he's run 27 times and passed 25 times, but 23 of those passes were in the first half.
Two tight ends come to the right. Now one goes to the left. And off to Dane.
You know, usually it's an offensive lineman or an offensive line coach that talks you into this. You know, someone says, hey, look, we bogged down there a couple times. Let's go out. Let's take our thunder and lightning and just establish it. Let's let our offensive line take over this game. Let's get back to our running game. And the first half, they were doing all the passing. They were doing okay, but they weren't controlling the game. Then they came back in the second half, and they're just going like a run scrimmage.
Here's Collins back to throw. As the man open, it's Ike Hilliard.
Ike Hilliard has a great feeling for those zones, you know, and you know, in a man defense, when the defense is in man coverage, you have to run away from a man. You run away from the defender. In a zone coverage, you find the hole and sit down. And Ike Hilliard is great at finding the holes and sitting down.
And Collins has been getting the ball right where it needs to be. First and 10. And off to Tiki Barber. Barber wrestled to the ground. A minute and 30 seconds left to play in the third quarter. The Giants up by a touchdown.
Yeah, this looks like a cutback. There's going to be a cutback to this side, but it's an organized cutback. You see, they make that hole back there, and they keep blocking it so that he has a cutback lane. He starts to the right, and he's going to come back. Now watch Tiki Barber start to the right here, but then he looks back here, and he sees this hole back here, and that's where he's going to go.
Barber.
Holy moly.
Knocks the Bear defender out of bounds. Tony Parrish.
Tony Parrish is a pretty tough guy.
Yeah.
These giant running backs are getting underneath the shoulder pads of the defensive backs, and that's who always wins the battle. The guy that gets his shoulder pads lower than the other guy. You wouldn't expect Tiki Barber to win a lot of those battles or even get into a lot of those battles, but he just did. There's no Glenn Parker. He's a real warrior. He looks like whatever happened on that last drive, he hasn't gotten over yet. He's still trying to get himself straight.
Collins drops. Goes the screen pass back to Barber. Well played by Brian Urlacher.
That's the thing that Urlacher can do is he can run and he can tackle. You know, now they've fooled him a few times, and he's run by some things, and they've got him on some play passes and stuff. But if he knows where it's going, and if he can zero in, he has the speed to get there, and then he can do something about it when he does get there.
He looks like he's going to be a player. This guy already is a player. That's the end of the third quarter with the score Giants 14, Bears 7. Fox NFL Sunday from Chicago will continue after word from your local Fox station. Second down. $13 yards needed for a first. The pitch is back to Tiki Barber. And Barber fumble. Mike Brown comes up with it. And the Bears get a break.
But everyone is going for the script now. You see, they started the script now. Tiki Barber comes in, and he does everything that he has to do. I mean, he protects himself. He wraps the ball. Thomas Smith just makes a heck of a tackle. But, you know, usually a guy has the ball hanging out there. He gets it stripped. Thomas Smith came up there and just hit him square. But watch Tiki Barber. He knows that he's going to get hit. He puts the ball away. But again, Thomas Smith won that battle because he got his pads underneath Tiki Barber.
Curtis Enis for a game break. Let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat, John, huge gamble here on 4th and goal from the 3, trailing by 14. New England's Drew Bledsoe sacked by safety Orlando Thomas. They come away with no points and still trailing Minnesota 21-7. That in the 4th. Back to Pat and John.
Giants leading the Bears 14-7. Bears has the ball. Curtis Enos swings to the outside and picks up 4 or 5 short of a first down.
Yeah, Pat, that was another example of the Giants getting control of this game and not being able to put them away. I mean, in the first half, we saw they had opportunities. They stopped. They missed field goals on. The second half, they got things under control. They score a touchdown, 14-7. Right here, they could have put them away if they score a touchdown here and go up 21-7. But instead, that Bear defense just hangs in there, hangs in there, hangs in there. They get a turnover, and they're still just 1 touchdown down.
With 13:40 left to play. Empty backfield. McNown throws on that screen. Marcus Robinson thought he should have broken it. Christian Peter came out to make the stop.
Yeah, that was the thing that they were talking about. Michael Strahan was saying last night on those screen passes that the tackles block like it's a pass, so the guys that are going to have to make the plays are the inside defensive tackles, because they can't expect the ends to, because they're going to be up the field.
McNown fakes. Blitz coming. McNown just got rid of it. Sehorn coming on a blitz around the corner.
Again, you see they have this side blocked, and he doesn't even see Jason Sehorn coming. I mean, you know, that's one of the things that Jason Sehorn does well, and he says you can't do this too early in the game. I mean, you have to wait until you get the quarterback's rhythm, because they all have a rhythm and they stay in the rhythm, and you can get there on a corner blitz usually in the second half.
James Allen.
The thing that they try and do is once you get the rhythm, then you have to time it up. You see, he's looking in there, looking in there, looking there. You don't want to give it away, and then you have to hit that thing right now and then just hit his rhythm. And Jason Sehorn timed that up just about a split second late, or that would have been a sack. But that's still a tough one from a quarterback. You know, I mean, you expect him to come up the middle, you expect linemen, you expect linebackers, you expect the slot corner, but you don't expect the outside.
Now the guy to come from way out there. Here's McGowan back to throw. Screen pass. Allen was the intended receiver. He never had it. Sean Williams up in a hurry.
You know, one of those things about time of possession and keeping the defense fresh, these guys can just run all day, and you can just run down those screens and get everyone there, and you know, and continue to make tackles like that and do all those kinds of things and hustle and fly around. When they used to, when the defense would have 70, 80 plays against them, by the fourth quarter they were just dead tired. They couldn't move.
Tiki Barber back deep.
Tiki Barber earns his paychecks.
Yes, he does. And he loves it. Makes the catch, is tackled almost immediately. Good coverage by the Bears. 12 minutes left to play. And the Giants lead by a touchdown. Brother.
When was the first game that the Giants played, or the Giants and the Bears? Was that 1925?
1925 at the Polo Grounds in New York.
That T-Rex was there. I think T-Rex watched that game.
And hungry. Amani Toomer.
You know, those are the same families still own those two teams. I mean, the Hallis family and the Mara family.
Right. That's the only two.
The only two in the National Football League. And when you talk about tradition and history, I think we're watching two traditional and historical teams.
You think about how much those franchises were worth in those days, and you think about today. Tim Mara paid $500 for the Giants.
I bet you George Hallis didn't pay anything. If Mara paid $500, and I don't know this.
George is one of the founders.
Yeah, I know it, and I bet he paid nothing. Or if he paid anything, I bet he got it back.
Well, they say that each one of the founders put in $100 apiece. But maybe George has put his in later.
George Halas was sly. Or put it in with one hand and took it out with the other hand. This is a big play here.
Toomer in motion. Collins back to throw it. Looks quickly. To Ike Hilliard.
And those fans know that that was a big play. And I'll tell you about the fans here in Chicago. Over the years, they have always appreciated their defense. And they give as much applause and as big a hand to their defense as they do to any offense.
Glenn Milburn back deep. Maynard back to punt for the Giants.
Giants had a couple of chances here in this game to put them away, and they just didn't do it.
And that often comes back to haunt you. Here's Milburn on the sideline. Good coverage. Ron Dixon down early. So the Bears will take over with 10.5 minutes left, trailing by a score. That Goodyear began coverage at major sporting events. That's James Allen across the 40.
You know, I have to say that Big Cat Williams, James Williams, is handling Michael Strahan today. I mean, I don't know that Strahan has gotten close to McNown, and I think that every time, you know, I've watched him, it looks like Williams is winning that battle. The Strahan should be fresh. I mean, you know, the inside guys have been playing pretty well, but they haven't been getting a lot from these outside guys today.
Second and 6. There's that swing pass. And they swing it around the corner to Marcus Robinson. For another game break, let's return to James Brown in Los Angeles.
Hey, Pat and John, no give up on the part of the New England Patriots from the 8. Drew Bledsoe hooks up with Terry Glenn. He takes it in to pay dirt, but the point after is missed. Patriots trailing 21-13, 10:57 remaining in that one. We'll take it back. Pat and John.
3rd and 2 at Soldier Field, Chicago. The Bears have the ball. They need this first down.
Cade McNown hasn't done a lot of running today, and you expect between now and the end of the game that he's going to be doing some. You know, they have organized runs to him, you know, the bootleg and the quarterback draw.
This is a Giant timeout. You saw an angry John Fox, defensive coordinator, over the sideline.
Field for defense, and it was a 3rd and 2. So that will get a defensive coordinator upset when you're playing 3rd down and you're only playing them with 10 guys at their home.
3rd and 2 at their own 44. They fake the draw. Here's McNown, and he's going to get the first.
And you know, it was just a matter of time before he ran, and they expected some kind of bootleg or some kind of quarterback draw in that situation.
Flag on the play. Did they hit him out of bounds?
You see, here it is. It was out of shotgun, and it was a bootleg. See, that's one advantage a quarterback has, is that he can pump fake the ball to stop the defender. It was his first carry, but you just knew it was coming.
Personal foul. Offense. 82. After the runner was out of bounds, gaining the first down. We will penalize 15 yards. It will be first down and 25.
That is Eddie Kennison. You see him right here. Cade McNown. Well, Cade McNown's not out of bounds yet. Not out of bounds yet. It has to come. Wait a minute. I don't know. It was that headbutt right there. That's the thing. It's always never the guy who starts it. It's always the second guy. That was, first of all, Kennison should have had the discipline. Just go back to the huddle. But you know, an official to call that, you have to see the whole thing.
Yeah, you do. You should.
I mean, they should, because that went on too long for the official just to see the headbutt.
They're discussing it.
Yeah, that's the old thing. Who started it and who finished it? Kennison didn't start it, but he did finish it.
They're moving the stakes on the far side of the field. Let's see what Dick Hancock says.
Erroneously move the stakes back to the spot where we had penalized the 15 yards. The 15 yards was penalized from the dead ball spot. It will be 1st and 25.
But still 1st and 25, huh?
Yeah, because that penalty was after the dead ball. In other words, McNown had already run. He had already gotten the 1st down, and then they had that Kennison penalty. That wasn't very good. I mean, you know,
that should not have been a penalty.
Or it should have been a penalty against both guys.
Offsetting.
Or when he saw it starting, he should have jumped in there. But having said that, the players in a tight game like this have to have discipline. That when the whistle blows and the doggone play is over, walk back to the huddle.
1st and 25. Work to do. Here comes the blitz. McNown gets away from the first wave of tacklers, but not all of them. Hamilton.
Yeah, now they can just tee off. See, that penalty killed them, because instead of being 1st and 10 with 3 downs, they get 1st and 25, and now they have to pass. So now they're going to get the pass rush, and now everyone's just teeing off on Cade McNown. So now it's going to be 2nd and 30 or whatever it is, 35, 30. 2nd and 30, and now you just know these guys are going to tee off.
Well, there's no call in anybody's playbook for this situation.
Except you have 2 downs to pick it up.
McNown gets to Marcus Robinson, gets some of it back.
Yeah, see, that's the thing that you have to do when you have 2nd and 30. You pick up some of it, and then you try and pick up some more of it on the next play. Gary Croton, the offensive coordinator, again. You say there's not a lot of plays even for this. I mean, they're 3rd and 19. There's not a lot of plays in your playbook for 3rd and 19.
One setback. Here comes the Giant blitz. Here's McNown. Pass completed midfield. Macy Brooks.
And there's 8 minutes to go. You're down by 1 touchdown. You have to punt in this situation.
You have all 3 of your timeouts. Dick Geron.
I know it's easy to say you ought to go for it. You're only 1 touchdown down, but with 7.5 minutes, that's too much time. You don't have to go for it. Your defense is playing well. You should punt them and get pretty good field position for your defense right here.
Good kick. The Giants are going to let it bounce. And it bounces into the end zone and out. It'll come out to the 20. So the Giants will take over. 7:28 left to play, leading 14-7. Hey, John, for tailgating.
Yeah, I mean, they got the boil going there, the big old steaks going there.
Brats? Pork chops?
This next one is brats. Now you're talking brats.
Yeah.
Those are some real brats. I always stick them in some beer someplace. Now, here's a pretty good one here. You always have to have some starch to go with your protein.
Yeah.
A big old steak, spaghetti, and potato salad. Now, that is a meal. Now you are talking.
It's working, too.
The starch?
Tiki Barber, the ball carrier.
You know that Urlacher, I'll bet you he's close to 15 tackles.
I bet he is.
Because he's, in fact, it just says 13 tackles. But he's really done his job.
He can run.
13 tackles and a sack. I think it's going to be one of those things that he's going to be there for a long time. I mean, there's injuries, and he starts, and it's going to be a long time before they can get him out of there.
2nd and 10. Collins lets it go upfield, incomplete. Juggled for a moment by Toomer. The Bears almost had a chance at an interception.
Yeah, now they got him in that situation they want. This is the thing, stop him on 1st and 2nd down, get him in 3rd and long, and then come after Kerry Collins. Because if they can stop him here, then the Bears are going to get good field position.
They got Brad Culpepper, who's fresh.
Conversely,
the rush line.
The Giants need a 1st down here.
Culpepper's in the middle. 3-man rush. Collins fires. Hilliard gets it.
Ike Hilliard is something. Jason Garrett was right when he said, I'll tell you, the guy that is something special here is Ike Hilliard. And he is here. You just see him on the outside. He starts in, he starts up the field, and then he's just going to make the out right there. That is a great move. I mean, when you can just watch him plant that left foot, and then that right foot is going backward. So you don't want, after you make your cut, you don't want to gain any more yards. That was a big third down.
He faked him down. Barber, the ball carrier. 6 minutes left to play.
Because what that did is that not only got some more time for the Giants, not only got him a first down, but it also got him a lot more field position. So now, even if they have to punt, now the Bears aren't going to have good field position.
That's Philip Daniels coming off. Bears have got a lot of people hurt today.
Look, they've been having guys coming off all day.
Yeah. 2nd and 8. Does throw outside to Greg Camilla. And he gets the first down.
You see who was covering is Brian Robinson. That's what, you know, those zone blitzes, you know, when they pull off the defensive lineman, if you can catch the defensive lineman that has to cover a guy, he's the guy that you want to throw to. Now, who's covering him? Watch, it's 98. This is the first guy here. Now, Greg Camilla, when Greg Camilla, number 34, gets on a 98, you got a winner.
First down, Giants at the Bear 48. They lead it 14-7. Pitches back to Dane. Good play. Brian Robinson cut him down.
Brian Robinson saying that's where I belong. The play before, again, it was a zone blitz. He's the left defensive end, and he had a drop into pass defense. That time he got to play like a defensive lineman. He saw Dane coming to that side, and boom, he just got up the field. And there was no way that Ron Dane was going to get outside of him.
As you said, that's where he belongs, not in pass coverage.
That's what he's not only thinking, but he's saying that.
2nd and 8. Out of bounds by Tony Parrish at about the 42.
Now the Giants have to have two thoughts here. One is to get a first down, and then you get in field position, and then you go for the touchdown. You see, if they don't get a first down here, they're going to have to punt because they're not going to go for it on 4th down because they can't kick a field goal from here.
Too far away.
So they have to think, get a first down, then get in position for field goal, then go for a touchdown.
3rd and 2. Collins. Toomer. It's a catch and a first.
And that's a big first down there again. Amani Toomer had to play big and he had to play strong on that one. Walt Harris is on him. You're just going to see him. You see him up here with the contact. Now he has to make the contact, get his right hand up there, push off a little. He knows where the first down marker is. He knows he has to keep both feet in bounds, and he does all of the above.
He got them both down. 1st and 10. Collins going to run it himself and slide. Gained a couple.
You don't believe that was an organized thing, because if it were really organized as a quarterback run, he would have just kept running. They're right at borderline field goal right now. It would be, right now from this point, would be a 50-yard field goal.
But Daniel Iso's had a tough day.
And no, so they have to get, I mean, you know, at least 10 more yards to make it 40.
2nd and 9. As soon as he makes the catch by Walt Harris.
See, you know, on the play before, I said it wasn't an organized run. What happened here is he was trying to hand it to Tiki Barber, and he didn't get it out. Either Tiki Barber went too wide or Collins didn't get out there enough. Then you're always taught, if you miss a handoff as a quarterback, just follow the guy in that hole, because that's where your blocking is. Gary Collins went outside that, and he had a slide. But that's
another mark of maturity.
That was a missed handoff.
He missed the handoff, so he just kept it. Didn't take the chance of a fumble.
But they need a play here. I mean, this would be, we're talking about a 49-yard field goal here. And again, a field goal would mean that the Bears would need 2 scores to win, and you know, time's getting to be down right here. So a field goal would be big for the Giants in this situation. And of course, stopping them from a field goal and getting the ball back would be big for the Bears.
Both teams have 2 timeouts left. We so loosening on the sideline.
The way you figure field goal distance is take the yard line and add 17 yards to it, 7 yards for the holder and 10 yards for the end zone.
Here's Collins. Grab. It might have gotten his face mask.
I thought I heard a whistle.
Troy Wilson was there. I don't see any flags.
I don't see any flags either. In fact, if they were in field goal range,
they just
or had any chance, this knocked them out of field goal range. This was a play that the Bears needed right there.
Ooh.
That wasn't a face mask. That was about as close as you can get.
Yeah.
Now that's a referee's call right there. Oh yeah, that was holy moly.
Yeah.
That should have been a 15-yard
30-second timeout.
I mean, that was Troy Wilson. He came in there. Watch him, number 95, and he's going to grab that face mask. Now the guy that has to call it is a referee. He's the guy that just watches the quarterback. That's his only responsibility.
That's where he's looking.
But I think it must have been on the other side of him or something, because I don't know how he could not see that. But Troy Wilson almost pulled the helmet right off of his head. Now here's what we saw Brad Maynard again practicing, was that directional kicking.
He's going to do it again.
Now if he's on the left hash mark, which he is, he'll directional kick this way.
Maynard in formation. Milburn is deep for the Bears.
Milburn back deep for the Bears. Maynard about his own 46. 3:07 left to play. Directional. Line drive kick goes into the end zone.
He's still got to work on that.
Yes, he does. Next week, Fox NFL Sunday begins with Terry, Howie, JB, and Chris as they take you around the NFL for the most entertaining hour of pregame on TV. Then Jermaine Crowell and the Lions take on division rival Cade McNown and the Bears. Or the Packers visit the Cardinals, plus other regional matchups. All right, here on Fox, starting at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific next Sunday. Check your local listing.
See what happens if you're a punter and you're trying directional punt. You want that ball to go out of bounds inside the 20, and it doesn't do it. You just get in a hunker. Close your eyes.
1st and 10 Bears. Their own 20.
The Giants have really left the Bears in this game, haven't they?
McNown stumbles around, and now he's down. Here comes the hat. Mike Barrow put the heat on McNown. They're saying they got the ball.
But Dick Hancock, he's a referee without the hat. He's saying no. Look, now he's saying yes. That was a big play.
Jim Fossil.
Fossil's don't get up. He wants that ball snapped so that there's no chance this is going to be reversed.
Fumbled it coming away from the center, then stumbled. Then holding it with one hand, and now down he goes. That's a fumble.
That's a fumble, and that's a recovery by Michael Strahan.
Yep.
That's a happy Jim Fossil. Because they had him all day. They had the Bears all day, and they just couldn't put him away. And they needed, a big play, and they got it right there. Or a mishap by the Bears. And that play started out ugly and was ugly all the way.
Here's Ron Dane. The Bears down to 1 timeout. The Giants have 2.
Strahan has been quiet all day. having his hands full with Big Cat Williams, but he came up with a big play.
Bear timeout, 30 seconds. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stenner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Associate directors Mike Roig, the broadcast associates Charles McDonald and Wade Wilson. Technical producer is Bob Muller. Technical director is Joe Abenda. The audio supervisor is Fred Aldis. Pre-game show was produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producers Bill Brown. And the executive producers of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. You running? I know you're running. Are you debating?
No, I wouldn't debate. Do rhetoric or something. Who the heck?
Rhetoric. That's
rhetoric.
Right. Yeah.
Remember a couple weeks ago or last week we had a guy that majored in rhetoric at Cal.
Bears out of timeouts now.
And all the Giants have to do is hold on to the ball.
Collins pitches back to Barber.
Stay inbounds.
Tony Parrish up to make the stop.
Yeah, we talked about Thunder and Lightning, and Jim Fossil said he'd like each to have between 20 and 25 touches, and they're pretty close.
Yeah.
Thunder had 19 touches, 70 yards. Lightning had 24 touches. Of course, that's as a punt returner too, for 169 yards. Look at these guys. They already have T-shirts out. Can you believe that? They have T-shirts out, Thunder and Lightning.
Did you get yours?
No, I didn't get one.
I didn't get mine either.
But you can't cross your arms. Yeah, well, don't cross your arms if you got Thunder and Lightning, man. You're hiding Thunder and Lightning. 2
minutes left.
You know, if the Giants win today, Pat, they're going to be 3-0. That'll be the first time they've started out 3-0 since 1994.
Well, it sure looks like they're going to win. For a game break, let's return you again to James Brown in Los Angeles.
The Pat, New England still hanging in there. Take a look at this draw. Kevin Falk takes it. He goes up to midfield. New England has the ball driving. They need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion to tie it. Time permitting, we'll take you to that ball game. Let's take you back to Pat and John.
The Giants at Soldier Field with the clock running 1 minute and 25, and the Bears out of timeouts. Galuiso out.
And the Giants still have to make this field goal, because if they make the field goal, for all intent and purposes, the Bears don't have time to get 2 scores with no timeout. If they don't make the field goal, the Bears do have time to get a score.
This is a Giant timeout now. So they're down to 1.
Because you would have, missing a change of possession, you'd get a timeout there. And I was saying if the Giants win this game, it's 3-0. But with the Jets winning, that's the first time that's ever happened. That both teams, the Jets and the Giants, begin a season at 3-0. Never happened before in the history of football.
That goes back to 1960.
1960, 40 years ago. Today, or this year, is the 40th anniversary of the American Football League. The Jets were part of that. Everyone forgets that.
That's right.
Well, we need history. We need, 1925.
80 years ago for this.
80 years ago. It's a birthday today.
It's blocked.
Ooh, we got some more football to play here.
Holy smoke.
Well, they've had trouble all day with that field goal. You know, they missed one. They dropped a snap on one. The directional kicking hasn't worked. Like I said, 108 is plenty of time for a score.
Jim Fossil, just a moment ago, was celebrating. That's another bad hold.
That ball got down. That was Mike Brown, the rookie safety that came from that outside and blocked that one.
That's why it's tough to be a coach. You saw it on the face of Jim Fossil. No timeouts left. 1st and 10. 80 yards to go. McNown trying to get out of bounds. With Marcus Robinson, he couldn't get out. They got to hurry.
Yeah, he didn't get a first down, so he's going to have to call a play. He's going to have to run a play. He can't spike it in this situation.
2nd and short. McNown's in the shotgun. Going deep. Overthrown. Marcus Robinson, the intended receiver.
That's a great matchup. I mean, that's why you pay those guys all that money. You wonder why is Jason Sehorn paid that much money, because they get him isolated one-on-one out there against the best receiver, and here he is. He knows right there, you can catch something in front of me, but you're not going to get me deep. Although it looks like he did have about a half a step. I mean, had that ball been a little shorter, it could have been an interesting jump ball.
3rd and 2. Doesn't get the first down. Des White was the receiver. Sehorn came up and hit him. No first down, and the clock running. Pass is complete. They don't get any yardage. That's the worst thing that could happen.
And now it's incomplete.
Alonzo Mays, the intended receiver, and that was 4th down. There's John Fox, the defensive coordinator, pretty happy about the way things finished up.
He needed that. I mean, they knew that they had to come in and, because they were starting to relax. They had good field position. Then that field goal is blocked, and boom, you're only 7 up here, so you have to do it again. So you had to tell your defense, you guys have to go out there and do it again. And they did it. They tried, like what the Bears did with Marcus Robinson, and trying to get that big one. I don't like the other play calling. Jason Sehorn to play when they needed him. He came through. They were going to get him. They did have him isolated. I mean, he had the whole field out there, and he covered Marcus Robinson.
That'll be it. First time both the Giants and the Jets have started the same season, 3-0. First time ever. So, a rather strange games, as the Giants had chances to put them away a long time ago. First half even. 14-7. We'll be back to Soldier Field.